Hey guys, it's Becca at So Darn Twisted. Today I thought I'm going to do another one of my let's make it up as we go along. So this is going to be some kind of folio using envelopes, and I found, because I have this box, let me make it the box of doom. I have this box of envelopes and I really wanted to do something with the brown ones, so I have these sets that are like the envelopes and the cards. So these are those. So I thought, right, well, we're going to find a way to implement those, and I really like these new Steampunk papers that I bought. I've got some others as well to have a little look, but we'll see how we get on. I also have these ones, which are really quite nice as well, and I may even utilise some of the corrugated cardboard that I used to make the background for my Forest Witch journal. I use this as the back piece of the cover. So yeah, that's kind of just left over, so I might go over that with some black or something, and we're just going to make it up as we go along, really. So supplies, let's go through some supplies, because we do like to know what we need before we get started, rather than getting halfway through a video and saying, well, I don't have that. But to be fair, this is very much basic supplies. So we're probably going to need a paper trimmer, bone folders. We're going to need possibly some corner punches, some inks, some glue. Absolutely, we're going to need glue. As always, I'm using Yoo-hoo glue. I might have some of this. I've just bought this vintage photo distress oxide spray. May or may not actually use some of that. I've also got some bronze ink as well. Excuse me. And I've got a lot of ephemera and stuff like that, but obviously, again, that's personal taste. This obviously can be translated to any theme or style that you want. It doesn't have to be steampunk. That's just what I'm doing today, because I'm still trying to fill up my steampunk journal, which is enormous. So let's get all these out of the way and we'll get rolling with figuring out how we're going to put this together. I just had another little rummage through my papers as well, just to see if there was anything else that I particularly liked, and well, it turns out that I really like this one, and I've been waiting for the right thing. You know, when you wait for the right thing to use it for, and I really don't think that kind of fits the steampunk aesthetic, so I don't mind having that side completely disguised. So we're probably going to end up working with a combination of these. This is just some rust effect textured wallpaper that I picked up at one of the DIY shops. I can't remember which one, and I think I probably had it for a while. And that's just a printable that I did. So first things first, we need to figure out how we're going to actually assemble this part. So let's just get all that over there out of the way. So I'm kind of thinking that I'm tempted to, let's see, if it goes wrong, we'll just change it into something else. I think if I fold that in there, and then maybe if I was to do that, then I could have a pocket on the front and a pocket on the back, which could be kind of cool, couldn't it? And then maybe seal that one to there. Will that close in the middle if I do? Yes. As long as I position it right, it will. Yeah, so if I square everything up there, oh, I'm still covered in soot from the wax seals tutorial that I did just before starting this one. So yeah, excuse the fact that I'm covered in black stuff. It's just soot that apparently didn't completely come off, even though I thought it had. So that's probably what that is. It's a good job I'm going to make it look grungy and dirty anyway. So what I think might be a good idea is, if I want to keep that as pockets, if I just put some glue just on the inside here, which I should be able to do if, okay, you saw it here first, guys. If it messes up, it was me that did it. Oh, it's good fun, right? Part of the fun of all this kind of stuff is just the experimenting, just to see what works and what doesn't. Okay, so if I open that up to slide that in there, yes, okay then, yeah, we're cooking with gas there, guys. So let's just square that up again, now that we know it's going to work. Just need to pull back ever so slightly, and a little bit of excess glue there, we'll just get rid of that. Okay, so we now have a pocket at the back, a pocket at the front, and yeah, let's seal this one. I'm taking that off, but this won't be enough to properly seal it on, because obviously it doesn't meet the edges. So we're just gonna chuck some glue on there, and that should make it stick nicely. Get as close to the edges as you can, but don't bombard the edges with glue, because otherwise it will just seep straight out again. So I've got a really froggy throat again on my life. I don't know what's going on there lately. Okay, so now we're just gonna join that to that, fold it over to make sure it's in the right place. Oh, we need to make sure it's just that little bit further back, don't we? Otherwise it won't close. That should be about right. Well, no, a little bit more still. I thought I had that really well lined up then. Apparently, I did not do as well as I thought I had. Okay, right, now we're there. Okay, so bone folder. Give it a good all over. Bring that out, give that a nice set. Obviously we've got a little bit of excess glue now because I'd put it too far forward, but that's okay. I'll probably cover that up with some washi tape or something. Let's just shake out those bits and pieces. Okay, so now we have a folio of sorts going on here. Oh, I missed a trick there. I should have left the top of that open. Would have been another pocket. Oh well, I might just glue this in anyway, to be fair. Alright, so now let's see about how we're going to decorate it. Now, I just remembered that I also have these mini craft card and envelopes, and I was wondering about gluing those to make a flap pocket on each of these. I thought that might be kind of nice to have those in there, and then maybe just, you know, maybe have this on the front, in the middle, sorry, you know. Yeah, I think that's going to look quite nice. Right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out the area that I'm going to want to cover. What I might actually do is bring that over a little bit so you can have that text on there. It's going to miss a little bit of it, but that's not the end of the world. Okay, so paper trimmer to the ready, and I'll just get my ruler because I can't remember what size these envelopes are. Okay, so they're 12.5 by 17.5, so I'm going to go 12 by 17 then for this. But first of all, I'm just going to knock out that strip there just to get that really close to the text. So, okay, so I want that to be, actually I'm going to go that way first, thinking about it. So it was 17 deep, 12 wide, wasn't it? Yeah, I'll remember eventually. Okay, so 17 is going to be there, because then that's a nice whole piece to leave behind. Okay, and that needs to be 12. So actually what I might do is just bring it over slightly, and then I'll trim that down a little bit more on the other side, just so that I don't lose quite so much of the T. And it really doesn't matter, that this is just because of what I'm using. If I was using something that wasn't quite as specific, it wouldn't matter for toffee. Okay, so now I know that I'm going to want the same size for there, as in here quite probably. Oh no, it's going to be slightly smaller. What am I talking about? I'm going to want the same size for the back of this one. Honestly, what am I like? Okay, so we know that's 17 already, so then we can just make that the 12, which beautifully only creates that tiny little bit of waist trim. So we're going to have that one on here, that one on here, and then it's just to sort out the insides, which I might use one of the, let's have a look. Oh, actually, now, if you watched the flip through the other day, I found this book page that's got some like kind of engineering to do with burners and stuff, which that would make quite a nice centre for that, I think, because it will tie in quite nicely with that. So I will trim that down to fit on the centre of there. So, ruler, where did you put your ruler, Becca? There it is. This is what happens when I start making a mess on my desk. I then can't find anything at all. Okay, so that's 12, so that will be 11.5 then, and that's 17. 11.5 by 16.5. Nice. Okay, so it's 11.5 on the width. Let's just get that in the right bit. Okay, get rid of that bit. And typically I have to pull that out again for the 17.5 on the height. No, was it 17 or was it 17? See, this is why I can't be trusted these days. No, it needed to be 16.5. See? Honestly, I just found out in a minute when I put it on there and it was too big, but that's beside the point. Better to measure twice, cut once, as everyone says. Alright then, so put my little ruler over there. So now I know that that piece is going to go nicely there in the middle. So then we just need pieces for the front of here. So let's see what's in this pack. Or I might put some of the rusted wallpaper. Oh, now there's a thought. There is a thought. I have those every now and again. Or, oh no, that would also work really nicely, wouldn't it? Which is not dissimilar to the rusted paper anyway, but has the beauty of having a design on it as well. And it will be plenty big enough, because obviously we don't want to go any further that way than where the pocket starts, so that's useful. So if that's 11, we're going to want 10.5 by 17. 10.5 by 17. All right, let's chop off that excess. I have to keep, I'm repeating in my head, 10.5 by 17. That's how bad my memory has become in recent times. Okay, so I know I'm going to want 10.5. Honestly, I find that I'm forgetting things, you know, when you know that you know it, but your brain just goes, pass. And you're just like, oh, damn. Oh, that's not going to be wide enough. Oh, no, I really thought I was going to get 2 widths out of that. But apparently not. Okay, well I'll do this one side and I'll do the wallpaper the other side then, that's fine. Okay, by 17. There we go with that again. Yep, let's... Okay, actually, if we kind of try to take it off both ends so we get a bit more balance on the pattern, that would be better, because there was quite a chunk that needed to come off. And if I'd taken it all off the bottom, it would have kind of disjointed that, you know, that pattern a little bit. So I now have then my front, my middle, my inside on one, and see I'm making a mess everywhere again. My yep, so it's just the rusty one for that side. So obviously that's got to be the same as 10.5 by 17. Excuse me. So let's cut that on the width first. So 10.5. Oh, it's a very satisfying noise when it goes through wallpaper. Oh, and I put that away. Why did I put that away? See? Brain. Definitely not engaged today. It's on holiday. It's had enough. I make it think too much. It doesn't like it. Okay. So I'm going to put together the base first, I think, and then I'll move on to the smaller envelopes, because that way it's going to be a little bit less chaos, I think. So let's get all that other stuff out of the way. So we know all of that's rubbish now. Let's get some corner trimmers on the go and trim up those, in which, you know, obviously you don't have to, and you obviously know how to do this bit anyway, so I will skip through this part. So that's the pieces clipped out that I want. I'm in two minds whether or not to actually clip the corners of this, because I think it might look really nice, so I'm probably going to do that as well. And then I'm going to just go ahead with my black ink and ink round all the edges, but again I will skip that part because I'm thinking you guys know how to do that. Alright, so that's all of these clipped and inked, and I have done a notch in the pockets here with the, what's the notch punch that I use. So that's all done, but then I realised that once I'd done the notches, I realised I was going to put those envelopes in that way, but obviously that's there now. So what I thought I might do is actually secure them behind the paper that goes on there to give that a little something. And with this bit, I'm wondering whether to use either more envelopes behind it or whether to use these cards that can have pockets as well, and just kind of either at the top or the bottom, or, you know, probably get away with doing both, to be fair. Let's have a little, yeah, see, I could probably get away with both as long as I line them up properly. So yeah, I think we're going to do that then, excuse me, before I glue these panels down. So let's take the little corner punch. So again, I will just skip through this part and then we'll measure out the panels to go on these. Alright, so they're all inked and everything now and ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position that roughly where that's going to go, just to line up these, really, and get them kind of central. Obviously you don't have to do it central. Oh, didn't do the back of that one. I'll do that now, will I? I thought I'd got them all. I was wrong. You lose track. So much inking. Oh, while I'm doing this, you guys, I don't know if you watched the little flip through of the Steampunk journal video that I posted, I think it was yesterday, but something's gone a bit crazy on my channel, because all of a sudden, although I only did my 250 subscriber giveaway like less than 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I'm already creeping up towards, I'm going to need to do the 500, which is absolutely great. So I just want to really say thank you to all of the people that have just joined, and welcome. I hope that you enjoy yourselves here. Please tell your friends. Remember, while you're here, like the video, subscribe to the video, you know, do all the cool things. Okay, so I'm just going to keep hold of that in kind of one piece, so that I can then just run a little bit of glue along the back of there, and that will seal those two together. Let's just make sure they're properly lined up. Oh, she says, there we go. So yeah, I don't know what's happened. Literally, I've been asking people, I'm like, okay, where did you come from? How did you find me? Because the last folio tutorial that I did for this same journal, just all of a sudden it just kind of blew up, and there was just people, subscribers popping up all over the place, and it was fantastic, because I don't think I've ever had such a great response to anything I've posted. But yeah, unfortunately though, there's still, I don't think there's even any likes on it. It's got like over 1,000 views, but I still don't think it's even got any likes on it, which is just really odd. So that's why I say, you know, if you do like something, just hit the button for me, and then that will help me achieve all the good rankings in your feeds and stuff. Okay. And yes, I will bang on about it, guys. I will. Because I'm only here for you anyway. Like, you know, I'm just doing this for you guys. I don't care. I'd just sit and do it for myself. But I thought, no. It's nice to share, isn't it? It's nice to help other people. I had help when I started. So it's nice when you can help others as well. So, how are we getting on there? That's looking good. Yeah, it looks about central to me. So we'll just, oh no, I've knocked it out of centre now, haven't I? There we go. So again, we're just gonna blatter a little bit of glue on the back of there. It doesn't have to be a tremendous amount, just enough to keep it in place, because the whole thing is going to be glued onto there anyway. So now with wallpaper, you need to make sure that you use a really tacky glue. I found PVA doesn't work very well, like, you know, white glue. I don't, maybe it's the wallpaper types that I've had, but I've found, much to my annoyance, that it seems to come loose when I've tried to use PVA. Like, not immediately, but, you know, sort of a few days later, all of a sudden it'll start lifting, which is really quite annoying. Okay, so let's pop that down. Okie dokie. Oops. Here we go again. Like a bull in a china shop, as my mum used to say. Okay, that's that side on. Same thing with this side. Didn't do the back of that one either. Oh my life, see? I am an absolute nightmare today, aren't I? This is what happens though when I'm just making it up as I go along. I'm distracted by thinking. When I'm doing something that I've done before or something like that, then you kind of go into autopilot, because you just know what you're doing. But when you're doing this, you're just thinking about all the different things, and yeah, you invariably end up forgetting something. But it's fine. It's fine. We can make it work anyway. There we go. A little bit more on there. Right. So, shall we try that again? Now, the offcut piece from that side will make a nice piece to go on that one. And I thought I'll do some, so it's kind of like an opposites thing, and kind of put them there. And then on these, I don't know, maybe one of these would look good. Well, be a couple of these. So yeah, I think I just need to decide what might look better. And obviously the deciding is always the tricky part. I think that works nicely, doesn't it? I think. Right, so we're going to measure up and cut these down. We've got those cut out now and clipped and inked. So we're going to get these glued on now. Oh, didn't store my glue upside down, but never mind. So again, be careful not to get too much glue around the edges. You want it to seal, but you don't want it all oozing out. It just makes it sticky and grubby and just yuck. So let's get that down in the middle. Oh, I was so close to the middle then. There we go. See, I've had to move it across, which has led to a little bit of glue dragging. I'm usually quite good at just eyeballing the middle. Right, we're almost done. How cool is that? I wanted to make something that was beginner friendly, but a little bit more complex than just a basic folio. And something that just looked a bit, just looked a bit good, really. So thankfully this appears to have worked. Could have all gone horribly wrong, because I genuinely, all I knew was that I was gonna use envelopes, and even from the beginning of the video where like I had a kind of idea in my head, once I'd sort of gone, okay, yeah, these will probably fit there and that'll look good, and even then it still hasn't quite ended up how I thought it might, but I'm okay with that. Evolution. Ideas just evolve. Okay, we'll get that one on in the middle, and then we've just got these to do, and then to decorate it. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I wanted it to, to use only basic tools, basic supplies. You don't need anything expensive or extravagant or, complex to make something like this. I mean, these envelopes that I'm using throughout this and the greeting cards, they all came from the range, and they were all really cheap. So, that was quite good. There we go. So now it's to figure out which one I actually want to be on which side. I can't quite decide. I'm just there going, oh no, I don't know. I think maybe I know it's like the second part, but I actually think I prefer the look of that one to go on the front. And I think I'm going to have that one on the front and that one on that side. Yeah. Okay, so let's quickly throw those on as well. Use my bigger glue, I think, for this. It's the same glue, it's just in a bigger opening on the nozzle, so you can get more glue out quickly for the big panels like this. I should have done that on the other bigger ones as well, to be fair, but you know, hey ho, I'm not doing anything else, am I? Might as well just go about it the long way. Alright, so that's on. Lovely. Flip it. Next one. I'm gonna do some more Cricut tutorials very soon. So if you guys have anything that you would like to see, you know, made on the Cricut for junk journal, so I can show you guys how it's done, you know, then just let me know, and if it's possible I will do it. I was thinking I might do one on foiling next, so you can, you know, foil the front of your folios or your journal covers, you know, things like that, which I thought might look really, really nice actually. So yeah, let me know if you guys would like to see that, or as I say, if there's something that you would prefer to see otherwise, which is fine. As you know, I'm always happy to just take requests really, because like I say, you know, it's the only reason I do this is to help you guys out, so it might as well be something that you're actually going to want. Okay, so that's going to be 9 square. Oh my life, I'm knocking over all my glue. Right, so I want, oh, quick chair. So I want a couple of these at 9 square. Okay, so let's go that way first, and then we'll go, oh no, what am I doing? It's the other end I actually wanted off, wasn't it? No point me cutting away the nicer piece. Okay, so that's that one. Ooh, oh my life, my paper has a mind of its own apparently. Go 9 there, 9 there. I'm just trying to think ahead as to what I might use on the inside of this to make the pockets with. Oh, half a ton of paper was just avalanched onto my desk because I had everything just kind of piled up here. So yeah, so if they're going to go on the front, I don't know whether to leave like that as just kind of the plain craft card, and then rather than cutting into another piece of paper, just kind of use these instead to make pockets here. I think that might be the route I take actually, because I think that could be quite good. So as before, we are going to clip the corners and ink them. So obviously you guys already know how to do that. We'll skip it, obviously, come back to you in a minute. Alright then, so they're all punched out and inked now. So we're going to glue these on. What I'm thinking is like sort of we can add, you know, like sort of sentiments kind of thing in that gap at the top that would kind of look nice. And I haven't notched these pockets because they're only going to be taking like light things anyway, so I don't really feel it's necessary. We're not going to be packing them out with things tucked right down into them, so I think it's fine. Alright, so at this point then, we are actually all ready to, you know, decorate it and everything. If at this point you've done the actual folio, if you want to head out and just go and get cracking along with it, carry on. If you want to stick around and see how I'm going to decorate this one, that's grand. But for those of you who are going to leave it here and run off to the craft space, thank you ever so much for watching, and don't forget, hit that like button for me, and if you don't subscribe already, please do. I have lots of things like this to take up your valuable time with. Okay, so for decoration, I've got some of my printables that I made, and I think I'm gonna take a couple of these to put on the top of this flap here. So is that one I want? It's this one. So I'm just gonna grab the ones I want, and then I'll get these cut out. because I think they're just going to add a little nice extra to it, and it also keeps it kind of cohesive within the journal, because I have used these in a few places already. If you've watched the so far flip through that I posted in the last couple of days, you'll see that I've used them in a couple of things, and they look really effective. And I was just going to put them up on my Etsy shop just as a printable, and then I thought, well, it might be a nice idea to try to make a kit, you know, like a whole thing with some other printables and stuff on it, you know, maybe some background papers as well, because there's a fair amount of steampunk stuff around, I guess, but a lot of the stuff I see is a bit kind of cartoony, and I prefer it to look like really industrial. To me, that's more steampunk. Okay, so I might have got a little bit carried away gathering up some ephemera for this one folio. You can't judge me. Don't act like you can judge me. You're just as bad. I know you are. I've got these beautiful stickers from, is it Temu or Temu? I actually don't know. My inclination is to say Temu, but that's probably wrong. But yeah, I got those beautiful stickers from there. And actually, if you're in the UK and you're thinking of ordering from them now that they deliver here, I strongly recommend it, because a lot of the stuff that I saw, they've got on Shine, but it's actually seemed to be a bit cheaper, and it's arrived within like 6 days of me ordering it, which is ridiculous, because there's things that I order from the UK that don't arrive in 6 days. But in amongst them was all of these lovely little bits, you know, the little bits and pieces that you like to just stick on stuff. And you know, I mean, there's literally like this huge packet, and I think that was something like £1, maybe not even that much. So yeah, so I thought, well, and I've also got the stickers that I was making for the tutorial on how to make sort of aged metallic stickers for steampunk. Obviously, if you haven't seen the tutorial and you want to know how to make those, head back. It's not that long. It's only about 15 minutes, kind of real time, you know, to make quite a few of those. So that's fine. So really, it's just going to be a case of figuring out what I want where. Alright, so I think I've got some ideas on the go. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is place a couple of the portraits that I think would look quite nice. So I think I'm going to pop one on there, and then I think I'm going to have that one in there. So I've decided that that's definitely happening. And then I'm going to have one of the industrial stickers on here. I think this one. So, beauty of making your own stickers. You can just keep making more, and it's all lovely. Alright, so we ran into a little bit of technical difficulty when it turned out that my camera had turned itself off, despite the fact that it was well charged, and I didn't actually realise that it turned itself off. So, but all you've missed really is me sticking some, you know, some photos on, kind of thing. And I was just inking up these, and it occurred to me that, you might want to know, to get a definition line, if you use ink and you've got a sharp crease, it will often weaken the integrity of the paper, and you'll notice it gets very floppy on the join. So the way to do that is to just make a really soft crease. You don't want a sharp crease, and then just gently dab on there. That way the ink isn't causing the structure of the paper to degrade, and you still get a nice sort of fold line there. So yeah, that's a little tip for that kind of thing. So as you can see, yeah, I didn't get very far without you. I did go ahead and attach the other tabs as well. Forgotten I did that bit already. So I'm just going to stuff some of these, I think, in here, and they'll fit. Yeah, they fit really well, don't they? Okay, so a couple more in that side as well. Oh, that side's been a bit more reticent. There we go. Be all right once they're in there and out a couple of times. Okay, so really now then it is just a case of throwing some things on there and yeah, seeing how we feel about them. So I found a place in the journal that I liked the look of. I didn't want to put it where there was too many other sort of bulky things. So, because I do like to make bulky things, don't I? So yeah, I think this was kind of like the best space for it, really. So as I was about to put it in, well, get it ready to put it in there, I also had an idea. And I know I need to stop having ideas, but is it just me? Or would that just finish that off beautifully? I know it would, right? I agree. So that of course means that I'm going to stick them on. These can be tricky, and again I recommend that you use a really high tack kind of gummy glue, because craft glue, white glue, that kind of thing doesn't really seem to stick them all that well. And it does tend to ooze out far too much as well. So I found this stuff is by far the best option. So, but it does take a little while to dry. So I'm going to pop them down, and then I'm going to glue it in, and then I'm going to leave it alone. I'll finally be done. I know you guys have done really well to stay with me throughout this whole big deal of a tutorial, considering this is aimed at beginners and is easy. Somehow I've still managed to like really make it go on for forever. Oh, it's fun, right? Okay, so good press down. And I find that once you if you give the glue a couple of minutes to kind of start to go off, and then give it another press down, it just really kind of seals the deal. So in the meantime, I will, I did one of the wax seals that I made earlier on in the tutorial about wax seals, funny enough. I thought one of those little letters that I did, I'm just going to do that. So I'm actually going to just think I'm going to pop that in here, just because I think it will be really, really cute. Yes. Well, that is very cute. Yeah, sorry, distraction. Me distracted, never. All right, that's looking quite nicely on there. I did add a couple of little just extra bits that I saw while I was tidying up, and obviously we mustn't forget we've also got that pocket that we can stuff as well. But I'm just gonna get a good wad of glue on here. I don't want a ridiculous amount because it's going onto paper, so you want enough, but you don't want so much that you end up with it sort of coming through. If you just give it a good, if there's any kind of bits that are a bit too thick, just kind of sweep them towards the middle a bit, and that will keep it nicely held down. And then we can go ahead and pop that in there. Yes, so I'm going to open that up so I can use that to push down. Well, guys, we did it. Did you manage to stick with me for the whole thing, you absolute legends? Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that you're not ready to tear your own eyeballs out of your head, or, you know, permanently block your ears. I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been fun for you, really. I hope you make something, you know, with it. I'd love to see what kind of themes and styles that you make with it as well. And as I always say, feel free to tag me on social media. I am everywhere. And show me what you've made. Invite me to your groups, you know, and I'll come along and share stuff there as well. And yeah, just don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you think you can deal with me on a regular basis. And in the meantime, happy crafting, guys. Take care.